What's up, losers? Today I'm back with another r/am I the asshole video. Reading a few controversial or funny posts, sharing my thoughts on them, and trying to determine who the real assholes are. This is episode 6 in the Am I the Asshole series. And I've got some intriguing posts lined up for this one. So without further ado, let's get into it. The first post is by user PackBillyGoat, and it is titled, Am I the Asshole for asking my girlfriend's friend to do something about her nipples when she comes over? Sounds spicy, doesn't it? Let's give it a read.
My 22 male girlfriend, 22 female, lives with me, as in, it's my place, but she stays here. She often has her best friend, 23 female, come over for girls' nights, or so they could hang out, or do whatever. So this friend is kinda quirky. She's one of those astrology. Crystal, your aura isn't clear today. Chicks, one of her eccentricities is that she never wears a bra. Like, I'm all the time I've known her. I don't think she has ever once worn a bra. Now, I know it's her body, and I have no right to police her body. But like, it kinda makes me uncomfortable. She's got a lot going on in that area, and it's just like, I don't want to stare, or ever look, but it's eye-catching. I love the cold, and keep it colder in my place. Like, typically the most I'll turn it up to is 70 degrees, and that's only in the dead of winter. Normally it's around 60 to 65, so when this friend comes over, she is typically braless, and then sometimes is cold. This leads to her nipples getting hard, and very visible, and it's really uncomfortable. I don't like intentionally look, but it's the kind of thing where I glance over in her direction and I see them. And I end up looking at her boobs. Like, in front of my girlfriend. Last time she came over, I came out of our bedroom for a minute to get something out of the fridge. She was by the kitchen, and I look up, and I see them. She calls me out on looking. She thinks it's funny, and my girlfriend does not. I tell her that I wouldn't glance if she did something about her nipples, and that she should probably wear a bra or pasties or something when she comes over. Now she's mad at me for policing her. She told me that if I'm staring at her boobs, it's not her fault, and I need to be better. This evolved into an argument, and now I'm in the doghouse. My girlfriend wants me to give her an apology, when I really don't feel I was that out of line. Like, if I came out not wearing underwear, and everything was visible through my pants, I'd be in the wrong too. Am I the asshole?
Man, this guy sure loves to shift responsibility for his own misdeeds onto others. Doesn't he? The whole post reads to me as nothing more than a lame attempt to convince himself that he did nothing wrong, and that anyone in his position would have done the same. From his starting characterization of his girlfriend's friend as a kooky astrology girl, to his use of language that minimizes his own agency. E.g., he ended up looking at her boobs, rather than he looked at her boobs. And finally to his suggestion of what she could have done differently to avoid being ogled by him. Every word of the post is clearly intended to paint him in the most favorable, well-intentioned, reasonable light as possible, while making his girlfriend and her friend seem like mean-spirited ball-busters for not agreeing with his position. Needless to say, I think this is a load of baloney. OP is completely responsible for his actions. He doesn't have a leg to stand on. And neither of the women did anything wrong as far as I can see. I mean, it's not like the friend was standing over him in a bikini, twerking in his face, or anything like that. She was just minding her own business. And she happened to not be wearing a bra, and have vaguely visible nipples. It's hardly a scandal. There's no law of the universe that says that men have to turn into drooling pervs anytime they see boobs. And I'm tired of guys like this trying to defend themselves on this phony basis. Like, don't get me wrong. I don't think it's reasonable to expect everyone to just never notice other people's bodies, including large breasts. A quick glance is obviously not a crime. And I'm sure that most women are pretty well accustomed to this. But for OP to have been called out in the way that he was, He almost certainly wasn't just glancing at her chest in passing. He must have been noticeably staring. And it is completely understandable why the friend might have commented on this. And why OP's girlfriend would get upset at him. Because it's inappropriate, plain and simple. The most frustrating thing about the post is that OP clearly understands that he's in the wrong on some level. Because right near the beginning of the post, he himself acknowledges that it's not his place to police the friend's body. Yet when he does try to police her body, and she complains about him trying to police her body, all of a sudden he's the victim. And he comes crying to Reddit looking for someone to back him up. It's just childish. Take the L, apologize, and do better next time. It's really not that big a deal. Nobody is going to lock you up for admitting fault in this regard. Your girlfriend and her friend just want you to take a little responsibility for your actions. Stop blaming everyone else, and try your best to improve. That doesn't seem like too much to ask for to me. So yeah, OP is the asshole in this one. Moving on. The next post is by user Medical Caramel 4545, and it is titled, "Am I the asshole for snapping at my girlfriend for calling me a good boy?"
Both my girlfriend and I are college-aged, and have been dating for a few months. About 2 weeks ago, she started calling me a good boy, in a flirty way, like, whenever I do something, she'll go, "Oh, aren't you such a good boy?" And I think she thinks it's supposed to be enticing. Or romantic. I've laughed it off, or just gone, "Oh God, please don't do that," but she won't stop. In all honesty, it always kills the mood, because I feel like she's talking down to me. Eventually it came to a head, when we were hanging out with friends, and she called me a good boy over lunch. Our friends laughed, and I kind of awkwardly went, "Sorry, I think you're mixing me up with Achilles." Achilles is her dog. Yes, it's a joke about her going Achilles heel, not the mythological figure lol. Afterwards, I asked her if she could please stop teasing me like that, and that it felt really condescending. She said I was being an unappreciative jerk, and she was just trying to fluster me. I said that I don't like being talked down to, and it makes me feel like I'm being infantilized. She said that her friend Lily's boyfriend likes it, and that she knows trans girls who love being called a good girl. I said, "I'm not a trans girl, and I'm not a fricking dog. Stop fricking talking to me like I am one." She said I was an insecure jackass, and now she's giving me the cold shoulder. Am I the asshole?
Wow, this woman sounds totally insufferable. Not gonna lie, like, why would you repeatedly antagonize your partner like this, when they've already made it abundantly clear that they aren't comfortable being referred to in that way? It's like she's trying to make the relationship fall apart. This might be me overthinking things, because this post is neither especially long nor especially detailed. But I get the impression that OP's girlfriend doesn't view relationships as true partnerships, where each person's wants and needs are equally important, but as an activity that she, individually, is partaking in, and for which her boyfriend is little more than a prop. It's like she's determined to call her boyfriend a good boy, because she thinks it's cute or hot or romantic or whatever. And this desire on her part is completely unrelated to who her boyfriend actually is as a person. And instead of respecting what he wants, and trying to express her affection for him in a way that he will actually be receptive to, she decides to just go ahead with her way, despite his verbalized discomfort with it. In effect, she reduces him to a means to the end of her carrying out her own private fantasy. And I can completely understand why he was so upset by this. Because it's disrespectful and selfish. The fact that she brings up other people who like being referred to that way, to make OP feel weird, and try to shame him for his perfectly valid preferences, is just the cherry on top. It's textbook manipulation, and it's not the way anybody should treat their romantic partner. So, OP's girlfriend is the asshole. And as far as I'm concerned, she owes him a pretty big apology. The last post I'm going to look at today is by user throwaway 79976. And it is titled, "Am I the asshole for not waking my husband up for his 5 a.m. walk?" Let's check it out.
So for the past month, my 36 husband, 39, has waking up at 5 every night to have a walk. These walks would take about 2 hours. Side note to mention that this is new. He's not trying to lose weight. Pretty thin. He's not athletic by nature, nor has sports interests or hobbies. In fact, he hated doing any type of sport. I'm happy for him, since it's an overall positive thing. But yesterday, he came home in the evening, after working for long hours, then stayed up late playing with his phone. I went to bed at 10 after getting done with the mess and everything. I woke up by him yelling at me at 7 a.m., asking me why I didn't wake him up for his 5 a.m. walk. He said he missed it, and I'm responsible for that. I was so confused. I said that first of all, he always wakes up by setting his alarm. Why should I be expected to wake him up this time? He yelled that he forgot to set his alarm. I said, so what? It's no big deal. It's not like you missed an important meeting or something. But he got more angry, and said that those walks help improve his health, and restore his energy, and help him feel better. I made a comment about how missing one walk won't hurt, but he unloaded on yelling about how I was trying to prevent him from doing his hobby. For some unknown reason, I told him he was sorely mistaken, even though I admit that those daily 5 a.m. walks around the Veterans Park are weird. But also his reaction, I really thought it was over the top. He stormed off, and went to shower, saying I ruined his entire day. When he got out, he started avoiding and ignoring me, even when I talked to him directly. He went to work, and refused to respond to my calls. Really, I'm at a loss. Like, maybe it was something I said about his walks. But I really don't know. He's sulking nonstop as of now, and I'm literally about to lose my mind. Am I the asshole?
Wow, this one is just bizarre, isn't it? Everyone in the comments on the post was saying that the husband is up to no good, and that his long walks at 5 in the morning are probably not actually walks, but a cover story for something else, most likely an affair or illegal substances. I can't help but agree with these suspicions, because going for super long walks that early in the day seems pretty fishy to me. Especially if he's not someone with a history of being into exercising. And getting this mad over missing out on a single morning's walk is even more fishy. If I had to guess, I would say that the substances explanation seems more likely, because I can't imagine having a sexual rendezvous at 5 in the morning. But maybe that's just because I'm not a morning person, haha. But yeah, either way, I am highly dubious about these so-called walks. And I think OP's first mission should be to find out what he's really getting up to on those outings. If he actually is going on walks, there's still clearly something going on that he's not telling her about. Though it's a little harder to guess what it might be. A secret of some kind. Some source of stress he's not telling her about. Or maybe a developing mental health issue. It's impossible to say. At any rate, his behavior is certainly not normal. And OP is definitely right to be concerned. For what it's worth, OP is also completely right in feeling disrespected and upset. Whatever the reason for his early morning walks, it is OP's husband's responsibility to get himself up for them, not hers, and yelling at her for not waking him up is rude and unjustified. As is giving her the cold shoulder in the aftermath. All in all, the husband sounds like a real piece of work. He's definitely the asshole in this situation. And I feel sorry for OP for having to put up with his nonsense. Well, that's all I've got for you today. I hope you enjoyed taking a look at these posts with me, and hearing my responses to them. What do you think? Is not wearing a bra inviting guys to stare at your boobs? Is it okay to call your boyfriend a good boy, even when he's expressly told you that he doesn't like it? What is the third OP's husband getting up to on his mysterious morning walks? Let me know in the comments. And let me know who you thought the assholes were in all the posts while you're at it. As always, don't forget to like and subscribe, or I'll wake you up at 5 a.m. every day, by pouring a bucket of ice water over you, and make you go for a boring 2-hour walk. Just kidding, haha. Anyway, catch you later.